I want to start first and foremost by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and blessings to the elect, starting with the 144,000, and also to the large multitude, the men, women, and children whom the Lord, has chosen to have mercy upon in these last days to be a part of that first deliverance. This lesson is going to be, based on this article that you see here on screen, just, showing you, how the curse is, cleave to us, as a people, So this is from France24.com. This was big news in the footballing community recently. It says France footballer Paul Pogba, brother was among 6 sentenced to prison in extortion case. 6 men, including the brother of France international Paul Pogba, were sentenced to prison terms of between 3 and 8 years on Thursday after being convicted of extortion, attempting to target the footballer. Matthias Pogba, who is accused of pressurizing his brother, French football player Paul Pogba, and his family, leaves the Paris criminal court after his trial was suspended. So, this brother, pretty much envied, what Paul Pogba had, as an international footballer, a very good one at that. His brother is probably a millionaire, and seeing, the success of his brother, he was filled with envy, and that envy festered and produced, an extortion case, along with 5 other men. They decided to pressure. I believe they even kidnapped him. Not sure here. Matthias will be able to serve his 1-year sentence. But yeah. The case involving 6 men linked to Paul Pogba has shocked the French football world because the alleged perpetrators include 3 childhood friends, and Paul Pogba's own brother. So 3 of your childhood friends, you grew up with these men, your brother, whom you grew up with, these men come together and they conspire, to kidnap you. So it says the 5 other defendants were found guilty of extortion, kidnapping, and detention, as well as participation in a criminal association, and sentenced up to 8 years in prison, as well as fines between 20,000 and 40,000 euro. So these men, you grow up with these men, and these men who are supposed to be happy for your success, and celebrating with you, but instead they envy you. And that envy turns to hatred, as we say out here, it's bad mind. They don't wanna work hard for anything, You see you with something, and you just want it, And it's the same thing here in the islands, in Jamaica. You as a young man, you make it out, or the so-called ghettos, the garrisons. You make it out, whether it's through music, to a sport, or to any other business venture. You make it out, immediately everybody in the community starts to what we call starts to look at you, envying you for what you have, wanting it, Now this is what the law says. This is Exodus chapter 20 and verse 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ass, nor his ox, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Let's read that in the NLT. The NLT, it says you must not covet your neighbor's house, you must not covet your neighbor's wife, male or female servant, ox or donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. And if you look up that word covet, let's look up the definition. It says to desire, to yearn, to possess, especially something belonging to another, So that yearn to possess his brother's things, led him and childhood friends to come together and conspire to kidnap and extort his brother, Because he saw his brother's success and he wanted it. And that's a part of the curse. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 54. So that the man that is tender and delicate, that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. So that envying, that hatred between Jake is a part of the curses, yo. Right? And it doesn't matter how rich you are, you don't escape the curses. Because here we have Paul Pogba, very successful French international footballer, more than likely a millionaire if he manages his finances well, right? But he hasn't escaped the curses because his own brother kidnapped him as well as with his childhood friends, right? To extort him for money, right? Let's get another precept here. This is Jeremiah 9:4. Take ye heed every one of his neighbor, and trust ye not in any brother, for every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders. So that's why you moving along among these jakes. You probably say, oh, me and this nigga be close. We're coming from, basic school or primary school. We're childhood friends. He would never do that. That's my brother. He would never do that. That's why certain things you keep to yourself. Outside of the brotherhood, outside of even some brothers in the brotherhood, there's very few brothers who know the ins and outs of my life, the intimate details of my life, whether it be relationship wise or finance wise. You don't make everybody know your business, yo. But then again, as an international footballer, everybody's gonna know who you are and that you have money, right? But then, much more so, you need to be more circumspect. Right? And don't take anything for granted, because this is what the scripture said. Take ye heed every one of his neighbor, and trust ye not in any brother. For every brother will also utterly supplant, and that's what happened to him. Every neighbor will walk with slanders, and they will deceive every one his neighbor, and will speak not the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies, weary themselves to commit iniquity. Thine habitation is in the midst of deceit. Through deceit they refuse to know me, saith the Lord. Therefore thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will melt them. Yeah, that fire, that thermonuclear fire is going to melt Babylon the Great, yo. And other places in the world are going to feel that flame too. Especially when Yahushua comes with those angels, yo. And try them, right? The time of Jacob's trouble is coming, yo. For how shall I do for the daughter of my people? Their tongue is an arrow shot out, it speaketh deceit. One speaketh peaceably to his neighbor with his mouth, but in heart he layeth his way. Right? And that's exactly what happened in this case. His brother and him were probably close, childhood friend, probably close. So they're speaking well to him. Yeah, yo, congrats, man. You're doing well. But yet what? They're lying in wait. They've decided to kidnap and extort him. Shall I not visit for these things, saith the Lord? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? And the answer is yes. The Lord is going to be avenged on this nation, yo. Right? But this is how we're supposed to live. This is the mindset that we're supposed to have. James 3:13. Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge? Let him shew out of a good conversation, which means your way of life, his works with meekness of wisdom. But if ye have bitter envying, right, and strife in your heart, glory not and lie not against the truth. This wisdom descended not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work, right? So that's pretty much what I wanted to bring out, just an example of, the curses cleaving to our people, right? Shalom.